I'm maths. I did further maths physics last year, and I'm at Nottingham doing mechanical engineering.
My name is Mohammed. I did maths, chemistry and economics. I had really poor AS grades and I managed to turn it around in A2. I got a D in maths in AS and I got an A star in second year. Wow. And I got an E in chemistry and I got an A. And the key to my success was just hard work. He got all A's, all he like. Yeah. He's never got anything below an A. Okay. On results day, when I opened my results, like AS results day was just a bad day for me, like probably went through my life. Got B, D, E, so didn't get out of bed for 3 days. One of my friends died. Yeah, he came knocking on my door as well, like to ask my mum where I was. And then I realised, like, in AS I hung around with like a lot of like the wrong people because I was getting really distracted. They were doing like psychology and sociology and stuff like that, and I was doing maths and sciences, so it's just a completely different ball game. Anything, so I just take out a book in life and just start working from there, and like 20 minutes later I used to see someone and just do a social area with them, or just, yeah. But in A2 I had like a much better routine, and I stuck to that routine no matter what. Like if I left that hour of work, I made sure I sat back and did that hour of work, couldn't miss it out. And for maths it's really important, like it's probably the easiest subject to learn and practice, in terms of once you learn the concept, all you've got to do is practice it to make sure it stays in your head. And the textbook I didn't really use, but practice exam papers are really important.
I just kind of kept up with work. I mean, the social area was awful. It put me behind in further maths. But as long as I made sure I got everything in class, I kept up to date. And then when it came to study, it was 9 till 5s, loads of work, and then paid off.
Yeah, I sat all my AS and A2 last year together, so I had loads of exams, so I had to be, like, I was working from the beginning of September, like, I don't know, I used to be downstairs in the North Wing Learning Zone at like 7 or 8, and leave at like 5 or 6, like, cleaners used to kick me out. First subject was difficult. I usually do one past paper for C3, C4 and M1 a day. So by March I had finished all the past papers for like everything, and it's important if you got like a B or low A's in C1 and C2, just retake it, because literally I did past papers the night before, like 1 or 2 for each one. I just looked through all the section B's for C1 and C2, and I managed to get really high A's for them as well. So yeah.
I can see the alarm in your faces. I did like an hour, not even an hour a day overall.
Yeah, I had 16 exams, that's why I was working. Like,
I had like 8, and I kept up with my work. My AS, having good ASs makes A2 a lot easier.
And please don't mix lessons and bunk lessons for no reason. You think you know it. Like,
that's one of the reasons I found it not that bad, because I've been to all the lessons. I made sure I understood everything. And
if you don't understand something, go to the tutorial. It's just important to go to tutorials anyway, because like another person might be asking a question, and that question might actually help you. And peer studying and teaching helps as well. So teaching your friend something might help you learn. It helps you learn better.
A group of people learning is actually quite useful, because for my further maths, there were some questions we found hard, and when we did it as a group, it became easier. Like, having someone who's doing the same work as you and might be ahead of you in some bits, being able to go to them and ask them how they did certain things is a really helpful way to learn, because they explain it to you. And just generally keep on top of everything. Like, it can be tempting to go play football, and or just being in the social area, because the library is just...
Make sure you keep your balance between like your social life and your studying as well. It's really important A2, like, because it determines whether you go to a good uni or not. Because unis, like, they don't mind AS retakes, but A2 retakes is like, it's really like you just...
And go OTT, to be honest. Yeah. In A2s, if you do well, you get into uni, first year isn't actually that much work. You can go out quite a bit. On average, I've been out 2-3 times a week, every week, this semester. Because first year hasn't been too bad. But I've never dreamed of doing that in A2s, because once you set yourself up for a good uni, that's kind of it. As long as you keep on top of it. As long as you keep on top of it at uni, you should be fine, working hard in the second, third year, get that 2-1 in the first. but it's probably better to decide to go out in uni. And you're 18 by then. Don't go to awful places when you're 17.
And when you get your offers and stuff, even if it's from a good uni, that's not it. That's just the beginning of the end.
It's conditional, right?
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Don't let the fact you've got into the uni you really want.
Don't let it make you get complacent and stuff. Like you've not got them grades yet. You've just got enough from them.
And honestly, I think it was just keeping on top of stuff. By the time I got to study leave, I knew everything. I might not be able to recall it at the time, but I did know everything. Pretty much. So when I went to looking at the books, doing past papers, if I didn't understand how they got the answer, usually looking at the mark scheme was enough to explain it to me. I wouldn't have to look at the mark scheme the next time. I could just, once I'd done that, maybe one more time I did that question and it's done. I knew how to answer it when I got to exams.
And all of you in Woodhouse, so you're all smart obviously, so you've all got potential, so don't just slack off. Because there will be some people, even in A2, they don't take their thing seriously, but don't let that be you, because on results day, then people came out with like C's and D's and stuff, and even though it looked like they didn't care, you could tell they were hurting inside, because they've just wasted a year or 2 years of their lives, whatever. You want to make sure you work hard and be the best you can.
Also the feeling's right.
Yeah.
When you look at that results that morning,
you feel proud of yourself.
You kind of click on it and you look at it, it's like, oh well, wait what? Look at it again, yes! Yeah, it's a good feeling.